Well, I was actually invited to come and teach, but this was back in 2005 when they were just starting the Arts Council. And so I actually was already teaching a class, not with the Arts Council, and so I brought that class with me here and so that was, I can't remember if that was in the fall of 2005, I think it was. And anyway, I've been here ever since. Well, I actually started taking painting lessons when I was in high school. My family moved from Homewood out to Shelby County. I was not happy about that. I did not want to move to the sticks. And so, because I was so unhappy, my mother tried to find, something for me. And I always had liked drawing and that, but I'd never had any type of lessons except, out of being just what they have in the public school system. But a friend of ours, he taught painting lessons at his home. And she called him and asked him, did he have room for me? And this was maybe the summer of my freshman year in high school. And he said, I'll make room for her. And that's how I started taking oil painting lessons. And I could give you the date, but it's been a few years ago. And then when I graduated from high school, I went to Montevallo, which I went into art because that's really all I could do, to tell you the truth. I mean, that's what I loved, and I was not good really at other subjects. I mean, I loved science and biology, but art was really my passion, I guess you'd say. So that's why I started studying a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree is what I was working toward at Montevallo. And so I really had not thought about teaching until I got closer to graduating. I didn't get a teaching certificate from Montevallo, but there were some women here in Columbiana that asked me would I consider, teaching them. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess I could. And so there were like 5 of them. And that's how I started, with 5 ladies. And we actually met in the cafeteria at the elementary school here in town, and that we eventually moved to another location. But that's how I got started teaching. And it's just grown from there. I think nature is one of my inspirations. I am influenced by my faith and spiritual things. And sometimes it's just everyday things that might inspire me. Sometimes things that you might think are mundane, but you see them in a different light. And so I'm inspired by all of those, but nature especially inspires me. As far as my students go, I try to encourage them to push themselves. Like sometimes they'll say, is this going to be too hard for me to paint? And I'm like, no. And they said, you say that, you'll always say no. And I'm like, if you just do the same thing all the time and you don't challenge yourself, you're not going to grow as an artist. And you'll always be doing those basic, simple things, So I think I try to encourage them to stretch and challenge themselves and do things, that they might not think they could do. And so I try to guide them with not in a negative way, in a positive way, but still telling them if something needs to be changed or something needs to be lightened or darkened or the composition needs some work. I'm not afraid to tell them that, but I try not to be blunt about it. Well, first of all, when you come here, you're going to be amazed at just the facilities. But besides that, you're going to find an inviting environment. It's going to be it's going to be a place that you feel that you can be creative. You will get to know other people that have those same interests. You'll feel a connection, I think, with others. It's here in my classes, it's informal, but it's we try to learn and teach, but we try to keep it very, not where it's not intimidating. But like I said, you'll get to know people even in the other, like in the pottery or music, and then you just feel like you're part of a, what's the word, camaraderie?
Family.
Yes, a part of a family here. And like I said, the facilities are awesome. We're so thankful to have this location and have the access to the, to this building. So